For 4 weeks, the little gray kitten in the corner cage still had its still available tag dangling beneath the bars.
Still here? Why hasn't anyone adopted him yet?
A month ago, Kosuke had wandered into this pet shop on a quiet Sunday, just to look. Then he saw the gray fluff ball with eyes like tiny moons, and his chest squeezed tight.
That little one is very sweet. He'd make a wonderful companion.
I'll think it over. Give me a couple of days.
He left, but he couldn't get the kitten out of his head. 3 days later, he walked back into the shop, already picturing the kitten's face, and froze. The same cage, the same kitten, the same card.
Ah, you came back. I mean, welcome.
Still here. After 3 days, and the clerk's hands are shaking. It's been 3 days. This kitten is still in the same cage. Why hasn't anyone taken him?
He's just not chosen yet. Sometimes the right person doesn't come right away. It's luck, really.
Kosuke didn't buy it. Her fingers twisted the hem of her apron like she was strangling a secret. Before Kosuke could press further, a woman in a hurry leaned over the counter, jabbing a finger at the kitten's cage.
I'm so sorry that kitten's already been reserved. He's not for adoption today.
Reserved? Not 5 minutes ago you told me he was still looking for a home. You're lying.
The woman grumbled and left, while the little gray kitten pressed its nose to the bars, the tag still swinging.
Kaede, you just told me he was available. Why did you tell that customer he was reserved?
It was a different kitten. I got confused. We have so many. I'm new here.
You're hiding something. Fine, I'll be back, and I'll figure out what you're protecting that kitten from.
Kosuke visited the pet shop every evening that week, buying catnip toys just to linger.
She flinches every time I walk through the door. What is she hiding?
He lingered by the hamster cages, where he could watch the counter unnoticed. By Thursday, a pattern emerged. Kaede steered customers away from the kitten, then slid the cage behind the counter. She did it twice in 1 hour. Quick, but not quick enough for Kosuke.
She's not just nervous. She's deliberately hiding him, sabotaging adoptions.
His phone captured the moment her apron brushed the cage as it vanished under the counter. That night, Kosuke stared at the photo on his screen, jaw tight.
If I confront her now, she'll only deny it. I need evidence she can't explain away.
He still didn't understand why, but he had to find out before the shop owner did.
You told me last week this kitten was reserved. Now he's back in the cage? I was ready to adopt.
What is the meaning of this racket? Kaede, explain yourself this instant.
I'm so sorry. There's been a scheduling error. I thought that kitten was still under review.
Wait, I've been watching this kitten for weeks. He's in perfect health. There's no need to involve the clerk.
Then why was I blatantly lied to? I've been a loyal customer for 3 years. This kind of treatment is disgraceful.
Kaede, we will discuss this later. For now, see to the other customers, and you, sir, I suggest you make a purchase or move along.
Kosuke stepped outside into the cooling evening, but he didn't leave. He leaned against the brick wall, waiting until the shop lights finally dimmed.
Kaede, I know you've been hiding that kitten on purpose. After you lock the door, we need to talk.
Please, you don't understand the situation. Just leave me out of it and go home.
She's terrified, but I can't back off. If the owner discovers this before I do, she'll lose everything.
The shop door clicked shut behind Kaede, trapping the two of them in the silent back room. Without a word, he turned the phone screen toward her. The photo showed the kitten's cage vanishing beneath the counter.
I didn't think anyone would notice.
Kaede, you've been sabotaging adoptions for a month. I need to know why.
Yes, I hid him. I had to, but I can't tell you the reason. Please, just trust me and let it go.
If you explain it to me, I won't tell the owner. I'll help you protect whatever it is you're protecting.
You wouldn't understand. It would only make things worse.
Her words hung in the stale air. The kitten mewed softly from its cage behind them.
I'm not your enemy, Kaede. But if you won't talk, I can't help you.
Then please, just forget you ever saw anything. For his sake,
Kosuke returned to his silent apartment. Kaede's tear-streaked face seared into every shadow. He opened his laptop and typed into the search bar, the cursor blinking like a heartbeat.
What really happens to pets that get returned to shops? I've never actually asked.
An anonymous forum post read, "Our local shop euthanizes returned cats over 6 months old. It's standard practice to cut costs."
This kitten has been in that shop for over a month. Kaede hid him every time someone got close. She wasn't clumsy, she was a lifeguard, buying him extra days every single time. I remember. His breathing was a little raspy. I thought it was just dust. But what if it's a sign of something worse?
The realization landed like a cold stone in his chest. Sleep never came. The ceiling offered no answers, only the faint reflection of the kitten's eyes.
Tomorrow I'll find Kaede, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep that kitten breathing.
The next morning, Kosuke pushed through the pet shop door, but the girl in the green apron was nowhere to be found.
She called in sick. First absence in 2 years. Now how can I help you?
That gray kitten, the one that's been here forever. Is he still in the back?
Him? Still in the corner cage. Same as always. No one's ever interested.
Kosuke grabbed a bag of food and a jingly toy, any excuse to linger, but the owner's gaze stayed glued to him, suspicious.
I can't press for information with the owner hovering. I'll have to find Kaede myself.
He paid and left, the owner's eyes drilling into his back.
Kaede wouldn't just abandon him. Something's wrong.
The only place he could think to wait was the small park with the creaky bench, 2 blocks from the shop. He found her on that creaky bench under the old sycamore, her braid unraveled, her apron gone.
Kaede? You're not sick, are you? You've been hiding something much heavier.
She looked up, and the dam behind her eyes finally cracked.
I know about the shop's policy, and I've noticed that little gray one breathes just a bit too fast. Tell me what's really wrong.
you noticed? His breathing? No one ever notices. He has a heart murmur, a congenital defect. The owner told me any returned cat over 6 months gets euthanized. Kittens get adopted fast, but one with a murmur, it always gets returned.
She pulled a creased veterinary report from her pocket, a tiny heart diagram circled in faded blue ink.
Every time I slid his cage behind the counter, I was buying him one more sunrise. I just needed the right person to finally see him. You came back again and again. You never flinched when he wheezed. I knew you were the one I'd been praying for.
The report trembled in her hands, but Kosuke's own hand stayed still, the weight of a life settling onto his shoulders. Kosuke's amber eyes burned, no longer confused. The full picture seared bright and terrible.
She put her entire job on the line for a kitten no one else would look at twice. This isn't just kindness, it's courage. Kaede, I'll take him. I'll adopt him tomorrow morning. He won't ever face that policy.
You shouldn't feel obligated. A cat with a heart condition needs constant care. This is my mess, not yours.
It's not obligation. I wanted him from day one. The heart murmur just means I'll find him the best vet in the city. But I'll do it properly. I'll walk in, ask for that gray kitten like any regular buyer. The owner won't suspect a thing.
The owner's already suspicious. He'll watch you, and if he sees me anywhere near, I could still lose my job.
Then I'll handle it alone, call in sick tomorrow. By the time you're back, he'll be safe in my apartment.
But if he asks questions, if he remembers you were asking about that kitten yesterday,
I'll deal with that when it comes. For now, I just need to make sure that little gray heart keeps beating.
Kosuke pushed through the shop door the next morning, his chest tight with hope. The gray kitten was finally going home. But the calm shattered when the backroom door burst outward and the owner, holding a tablet, stormed toward Kaede.
Kaede, I reviewed the security tapes from last week. You've been hiding that kitten behind the counter. You turned away buyers on purpose.
I can't deny it. But please, let me explain.
There's no explaining away this. You've been sabotaging my business. You're fired, effective immediately.
Stop. She did it for a reason. That kitten has a heart murmur. If someone returned him, you'd euthanize him. She was trying to save his life.
And how would you know that? I don't care about some sentimental excuse. She broke the rules and she's out. And you've been snooping around too.
Kaede's breath came in ragged gasps, the kitten's tiny cage trembling in her grip.
Then I'll adopt him right now. You don't have to fire her over this. Just let me take the kitten.
Adoption fee is full price. After that, I want you both gone.
Kosuke pulled out his wallet without flinching. The price was steep, but the injustice burned hotter.
Adoption fee is non-refundable. After you sign, you take full responsibility for any health issues.
Kaede watched the money trade hands, her throat tightening around a sob.
Kosuke, you're really taking him? Even knowing everything?
I know. And I'm still taking him. That heart murmur just makes him more precious.
The owner shoved the carrier forward and pushed a receipt across the counter without another glance. Kaede pulled the apron over her head slowly, the fabric sliding through her fingers like the last threads of a dream.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to give him a chance.
You gave him more than a chance. You gave him a lifeline. Now let's walk out of here.
The glass door chimed once as they stepped into the pale morning light, the kitten's tiny mew swallowed by the hum of the city. Outside, the morning sun felt too sharp. Kaede's hand slipped from the doorframe, and her shoulders curled inward, small as a sparrow in a storm.
I'm just a dismissed clerk with a vet's note and a closed door behind me.
Kosuke made it 3 steps before his own shadow stopped him. He turned, the carrier's weight suddenly feeling like a promise he hadn't finished.
Kaede, I didn't just buy a kitten back there. I made a choice, and that choice includes you. I won't leave you like this.
But you don't owe me anything. I broke the rules. I got fired. This is my own mess.
You broke the rules to save a life that no one else would even look at. That's not defiance. That's the kind of courage this world's starving for.
He extended his hand, the one not holding the carrier, and waited for her to take it.
Then, what now? Where do I even start?
We start by getting this little guy to his new home. After that, I'll think of something. You're not alone anymore, Kaede.
She nodded, a single weak dip of the chin, but the weight on her shoulders already seemed a little less crushing. Kosuke's apartment swallowed them in silence. He set the carrier by the window, and the gray kitten took a wobbling step onto the floorboards.
I made a promise outside that shop. Think of something. It's time to turn that into something real.
He typed into the search bar, how to start a no-kill animal rescue, legal requirements, costs, and contracts. One article read, typical startup cost for a small rescue facility ranges from 2 to 4 million yen, plus a contract penalty of purchasing out a worker's bond.
4 million. I have that much saved, but it'll wipe me clean. Still, compared to what she sacrificed, money is just paper.
He opened a blank document and began drafting a business plan. Rescue name, location requirements, operating costs, vet partnerships. He scribbled numbers in the margins, his handwriting tightening as the total grew. But at the bottom, he underlined a final figure with a firm stroke. He picked up his phone and opened Kaede's contact. The cursor blinked, waiting for the words that would change everything.
Meet me at the park bench tomorrow. I have a plan. Send.
The kitten purred softly from its new bed, and Kosuke leaned back, the weight of a rescue plan settling onto his shoulders like armor. He found her at a quiet corner table of a sunlit cafe, her fingers wrapped around a cold coffee cup. The plan was tucked under his arm.
You actually came, I thought. After everything, maybe you'd realize I'm not worth the trouble.
Worth more than I can measure. Look, I didn't just think of something. I built a full plan. A no-kill rescue center, Kaede. Yours.
The notebook sat between them like a flickering promise. Kaede's fingertips trembled over the circled budget number.
This is 4 million yen. Kosuke, that's your savings. I can't let you throw away your future for me.
This isn't throwing anything away. It's investing in the person who understood a kitten's life was worth more than a job. You're exactly the one who should run this.
No one's ever believed in me like this. Not even myself. Kosuke, if you really mean this, then I'll do it. I'll help build a place where no animal has to be afraid of being returned.
We do it together. Partners.
She took his hand, and the cafe hummed around them, the first note of a completely new song. The pet shop door swung open for the last time on a gray, drizzly morning. Kaeda's footsteps were heavier than the rain outside.
You again? And the fired clerk. This isn't a reunion hall. What do you want?
We're here to buy out Kaede's contract penalty. Here's the full fee in cash.
The owner counted the bills twice, then shoved a termination paper across the counter with a grunt.
Sign here. After this, you're no longer our employee. Don't ever step foot in my shop again.
Kaede's fingers trembled as she signed her name, each stroke tearing something loose. Outside, the drizzle stopped. They rode a bus across town to a narrow street lined with closed shutters. At the end, a small vacant storefront waited.
This is really going to be our rescue. It feels like a dream.
Not a dream. It's the start. Here, hold these.
The keys clinked softly as Kaede closed her fingers around them. For the first time, the empty walls didn't feel empty. Kaede crossed the dusty floor, her footsteps the only sound in the hollow room, and stopped at its center. She closed her eyes and saw kennels lined with soft blankets, shelves of supplies, and a window seat where cats would sunbathe.
Over there, a quiet corner for sick animals to heal. And by the window, a play area where they'll learn to trust again.
She turned to Kosuke, her eyes glistening with something fiercer than tears.
Kosuke, I don't know how to thank you. You saw a clerk hiding a cat behind the counter, and you gave her a whole future. I promise, this place will never euthanize a healthy animal. Every life that walks through that door will get its second chance.
I know you will. That's why I'm just the investor. You're the heart of this.
He didn't need gratitude. The conviction in her voice was enough payment for every yen he'd spent. The empty room seemed to hum with the spirit of animals not yet arrived, a quiet promise settling in the dust motes. This was no longer just a storefront. It was the beginning of Nadeshiko rescue. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of paint cans, delivery boxes, and late-night planning sessions in the apartment. Kaede traded her green apron for a tool belt, her braid pinned up, directing volunteers and electricians.
The kennel room needs to be ready by Tuesday. Keep those cages spaced apart. Stress is the enemy of recovery.
Kosuke hauled bags of litter and cans of food, the sweat on his brow a currency he'd never regret spending.
Every box I lift is a brick in the wall that'll keep animals safe. I've never been this tired or this alive.
The gray kitten, now a sleek little shadow, began to explore the new space, claiming the highest cat tree.
He doesn't wheeze as much anymore. Dr. Minami says the murmur is stable. He's thriving.
A local artist arrived to paint the sign above the door, Nadeshiko Rescue in soft green letters.
Nadeshiko. You said it's a flower that bends but never breaks. Perfect name.
Standing back, Kaede watched the sign settle into place. Everything they'd sacrificed hung in those letters. The morning of the grand opening dawned clear and golden. A cheerful cluster of neighbors and pet lovers gathered before the green door. Kaede's fingers barely trembled as she raised the scissors, her braid neat, her smile suddenly unshakable. Snip. The ribbon split, and a small cheer rose from the onlookers, soft, genuine, full of animal warmth.
Thank you for believing in a second chance. This rescue is a place where every heartbeat matters, no matter how fragile.
From the edge of the crowd, Kosuke clapped with both hands, his amber eyes holding a pride he'd never put into words. 2 volunteers carried the first rescue cats through the door in worn carriers, tabbies rescued from a condemned building.
Welcome home, little ones.
Without a word, she stood and wrapped her arms around Kosuke, the weight of months finally breaking into a tearful, silent thank you. On the cat tree by the window, the gray kitten watched the scene with a slow blink, the still available tag long gone. Nadeshiko Rescue was open, and not a single returned animal would ever be euthanized within its walls. After the guests had gone, the rescue settled into its first true quiet. Kosuke and Kaede sat on a low bench near the sunning window. The gray kitten purred like a tiny engine, curled in Kaede's lap, finally home.
I used to dream about a place like this, but I never thought I'd actually be sitting inside one that's real. Thank you for giving me a reason to believe that doing the reckless, scary thing can actually change something.
You didn't need me for that. You already knew what mattered. I just showed up.
You came back again and again. You could have given up, but you didn't. That's not just showing up.
Honestly? The moment I saw you holding this little guy, whispering to him like he was the most important thing in the world, I knew there was no way I could just walk away.
The words hung in the sun-warmed air, heavier than they should have been, but neither of them pulled away.
Did he just say that because of the rescue, or because of me?
They didn't answer that question yet. But their hands, resting an inch apart on the bench, held the beginning of something neither was ready to name. On the far wall of Nadeshiko Rescue, a patchwork of thank you letters bloomed, Polaroids of whiskers, crayon drawings and handwritten notes. Kaede pinned a fresh card near the top, a glossy orange tabby that had gone home just that morning.
24 this month. Each one a heartbeat that won't be returned.
The door chimed, and Kosuke stepped inside, a heavy bag of premium kitten food hoisted over one shoulder.
The new brand Dr. Minami recommended. He should be eating like a king by now.
The gray kitten, sleek and bright-eyed, appeared from behind the cat tree and trotted directly to Kosuke's ankles.
He knows the sound of his favorite human. You're the only one he greets like that.
Kosuke knelt and scratched behind a soft ear, the purr vibrating through his palm like a tiny, grateful heartbeat. The rescue center hummed around them, a soft chorus of sleepy meows and the rustle of content animals. In the middle of it all, the girl who once hid a cat behind the counter now watched over dozens, safe and sound. A year slipped by like a soft paw across a sunbeam. Nadeshiko Rescue brimmed with new arrivals, each one finding a second chance. Kaede moved between cages with quiet confidence, her braid now tipped with a single green ribbon. Kosuke wiped down the counter with a familiar rag, the morning sun catching the ring on his finger, a simple band that matched hers. The gray cat, now fully grown, sat perched on the cat tree like a little king, watching over his domain. Their hands brushed as they passed in the narrow aisle, a small touch that had become as natural as breathing. In the back office, away from curious eyes, Kosuke gently tugged her braid, pulling her close.
You're supposed to be restocking the litter.
It can wait.
He pressed his lips to hers in a kiss that tasted of promise and persistence. The gray cat jumped onto the counter and meowed, jealous of the attention. They broke apart laughing, the best kind of interruption. Among all the thank you notes pinned to the wall, one photograph remained, a picture from opening day. In it, Kosuke, Kaede, and a tiny gray kitten beamed before the still empty cat tree. Now that tree held a full-grown king, and the same three stood before the photo, older but smiling. Kosuke's arm wrapped around Kaede as she held the purring cat against her heart. The murmur was a memory, the tag long discarded. And so, the pet shop girl who hid the cat behind the counter found not just the right adopter, but her own place. Nadeshiko Rescue was a haven for the fragile, the overlooked, and the brave. What began as a desperate secret became a promise that never broke, and the girl who once trembled behind the counter stood at the center, unafraid. She was exactly where she was meant to be.